Hello, everyone, and welcome to the CrystalConf Launchcast. That's what we're calling this. It is the kind of behind-the-scenes look at the production of CrystalConf and kind of where we're at right now. I'm going to kind of go through the line and just let people kind of introduce at least who they are and how they got into Crystal. So, Martin, would you like to kick us off in kind of introducing yourself?
Okay, yeah, sure. I'm Martin. I've joined the Manus team approximately 3 years ago, and I'm doing marketing actions there. So that's how I got into Crystal. Not really a developer.
That's fine. You don't have to be. So that covers a little bit about what you're doing for the conference, but like, kind of, what's your role in CrystalConf, or how would people know you if they stumble across you on the internet or in the conference?
I'll probably be moderating as last time in the Crystal Raw conference. Lorenzo asked us to help him out, and now we're asking him to help us out. So we kind of, he's Batman and I'm Robin, I think.
Nice. We're gonna have to get some like name tag for you, Robin. How about Nico? How would you like to introduce yourself? Who you are? How you got into Crystal? Maybe how people would know you if they ran into you at the conference.
I don't know if they would know me, but I'm glad to introduce myself. I'm Nico. I'm the founder of Manus. I started working with an amazing group of people 18 years ago, and I basically try to make sure that everybody has what they need in order for Crystal to succeed. I'm not involved in the development per se. I try to make sure that the conditions are given for the rest to do their best. And with CrystalConf, I'm basically helping with logistics, planning, organization, and making sure that we have a fantastic conference. It's looking really good, so I'm super excited.
Awesome. And Lorenzo, would you like to give us a little intro?
Yeah, sure. I'm Lorenzo. I got into Crystal a few years ago now. I think I released my first YouTube video at the end of 2019. I don't remember what the topic was. Oh yeah, it was about coding a URL checker.
Yes.
To go and get URL data. So get data from URLs, and that was the first contact with the language. And since then, I've been producing a bit more content around different things that you can build in Crystal. Usually taking a point of view, focusing on the concurrency aspect of the language, which is my favorite part, I think. And in terms of involvement in the conference, in 2020, I was privileged enough to be able to organize the Raw Crystal conference together with the people on this call. And that was, I think, a great success. And it's great to come back as a Robin in Batman and Robin this time. And so people will see me maybe moderating bits of the conference and working behind the curtain on organizing and selecting talks, I think.
Awesome. We're gonna have to get like a little one of those like yellow silhouetted backlights and like get both of your guys' like outlines for the Batman Robin. Maybe have them crossed,
No, never cross the stream.
I think everybody wants to be Robin, so we'll be a Batman-less team.
Oh, man. That'd be funny. My name is Jack. You've probably seen me as either One True Free on the internet, and I am helping to host. I'm going to be doing a lot of the announcing and emceeing of the conference, and also you might have known me in the community from doing Chicago Crystal, or some of the meetups in the Chicago area that then we started broadcasting, which was pretty cool. So I guess meetups and podcasts and stuff like that. So that's who I am. I can be Batman. I don't know if I have a gravelly enough voice. We'll have to see if maybe I can find a mod for this mic to make me sound like Batman for bro.
I think you're the closest. You're the closest we have for
Yes.
Batman. So I think you'll have to be our Batman.
I don't know if I'm that moody, but maybe I can be. Yeah.
That can be learned.
That can be learned. Yeah. You can have to start doing a lot more lifting of weights to pull off the physique of Christian Bale.
Does not come with the suit though.
Oh, maybe it does.
That comes with the suit.
Yeah. Well, that's us and Batman, but we're here to talk about Crystal Conference. So I'm going to kind of kick this off to the group, maybe even prompt it a little bit. But we are launching Crystal Conference. This is its first year. Kind of what are some of the core concepts of the conference? I know 1.0 just got released. What is like the pitch for everyone who's wondering if they should come to Crystal Conf?
I think if I may go, I don't know if you have any particular order in mind for us to go in bounds, or we can just interrupt each other.
I do have an order actually on this sheet here, but if not, just go for it. So.
I was going to say that I think, I mean, the initial idea was to celebrate the launch of 1.0. Basically, we said, okay, why? I mean, this if we'll ever gather the courage to have an official conference, this has to be the first one, and it's a good moment now. So I guess that's the first motivation and the first theme in a way. Hey, this is ready. This is out. We made it. It starts now again, right? Now it's both a finishing line and a starting line at the same time.
That's so true. It's so cool. Yeah, I can't wait to see what happens in Crystal 3.0. Awesome. Yeah, and just some background for people who are coming. This conference is going to be remote only, and Martin, would you like to share a little bit about maybe how people can find it if they're searching for either tickets or info, and maybe a little bit about the skill levels, or just who should be welcome to join?
Yeah, the conference can be easily found through either the Crystal website, crystal-lang.org, or the manus.tech website. We have links there, so you don't have to learn the long Eventbrite URL. Either one of those will take you directly to Eventbrite, where you can get your tickets. As far as proficiency level, we're open to any and all who are willing to learn about Crystal, get interested in it. We're actually bringing people from other communities to kind of join the party and celebrate with us. As we mentioned in a tweet earlier today, we believe that Crystal stands on the shoulders of a lot of giants, and many of those communities have been doing a lot of the stuff that we attempted to replicate and build on. So yeah, everyone's invited.
Nice. Giants. And when is the conference for people who are trying to basically plan this out? Mark it on their calendars as.
Yeah, it's going to be on July 8th, 2021, if that needs clarifying. It was originally intended to be from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. UTC, and now we're gladly announcing that we had such a surge of talks that we were going to expand it. So people who already got their tickets getting an extra bang for their buck. It will probably start around 1 p.m. UTC. So go find a converter to see where that's on your time zone. It's going to be pretty early here in Argentina. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be about 6-7 hours of fun and talks.
Awesome. Yeah, that's going to be really fun. I definitely marked my calendar a while ago and make sure that no one covers up that date with something else. So yeah, please check out the site, and tickets are open. So as well as we are still open for call for talks or call for papers. So if you have a talk that you're listening to this and you want to see in CrystalConf, we want to hear, like, we want to see your proposal. And it's never too early to submit a talk. Definitely towards the end, we're going to have a lot to review. So please, if you have a talk, consider writing a proposal and submitting it. We'd love to see it. Yeah. So.
And also a note that we encourage first-time speakers. So if anyone in the audience have always dreamed of giving a talk at a conference and they never found the time or the opportunity, we don't just say we welcome people that are first-time speakers. We actually mean it, and we will support people that need any sort of feedback to get them where they want to be for the time of the talk.
Yeah. It's really cool. For Raw Crystal, what did you do, Lorenzo, to help first-time speakers or just speakers in general? I know that you had some open calendar time for them.
Yeah, we had a couple of sessions before the conference, around 4, and then a couple of weeks before the event, where for people that felt like it, we actually went through a bit of a dry run, and we actually gathered feedback from all the other speakers. So it was a safe space to try things out and see whether the message would land or not, and also to iterate a bit and try to make the presentations a bit more focused and stick to the time given. So I think it was overall, I really enjoyed it. I think people were fairly happy with that.
We might or might not do that this time, but we are definitely like committed to helping first-time speakers and people who have spoken before just give a really good presentation for their idea and just to help it come across. Lorenzo, what was your first talk that you ever gave? Like, what was the not even in Crystal? What was the first?
Really hard to say. I do remember one that I remember distinctly is a talk on immutability in Ruby years ago, maybe 5-6 years ago, and that was at the London Ruby user group, which is my sort of it was the rite of passage for me in terms of starting to participate into a community. And it was it was a bit of a dream come true. I had moved to London a few months before, and connecting with the London community was the first, Ruby community was the first social, thing I tried to do. That gave me great satisfaction. It was a great way to meet people and share ideas. So, and also the perfect space to try and, put out some material that is maybe a bit raw and not refined yet, but the perfect place to get the feedback you need to make your presentation or talks a bit better.
Yeah, meetups, user groups, they're amazing ways to really get your feet wet, and it's great because the feedback is so personal. It's from a small group of people who probably know your name and probably have spoken to you over, sandwiches or something like that, like just inside the group. So it's a great, like if people are interested, it's also a great place to get started. My first talk that was at least recorded, and I think it's still out on the internet, was Ruby and serverless. And I can only imagine how mechanical and just like all the more you get into speaking, the easier all this stuff gets. But I should go back and watch it and see what it was like. But yeah, it was the serverless ecosystem with Ruby and using a few different frameworks and other stuff like that. It was a fun time. That was also at a user group. So we do definitely want more talk submissions, and if you're kind of been kicking around some ideas in a meetup or in a user group and you want to scale up the talk or maybe just take that talk and try to bring it to CrystalConf, we'd love to hear kind of what you have, and we'll definitely try to help you and work with you to give a good representation of that idea at CrystalConf. So please, the more the merrier. Talking about some talks and some standing on top of the shoulders of giants, Nico, would you like to make an announcement that's on Twitter of a speaker that we've already had committed?
Yeah, so there's this guy named Mats that you probably heard about if you've been following the news with Ruby development. Yeah, so we're super happy that that Mats, for those of you who really don't know who he is, he's the creator of Ruby, and Crystal owes a ton to Ruby, so we're super happy to have him be a part. I think he has called himself the grandfather of Crystal one day, right? Because if Crystal is the son of Ruby and he's the father of Ruby, then he's the grandfather. So yeah, we'll have him opening due to time zones and due to like weight of the speaker as well. So he'll probably be our first speaker of the conference.
I didn't know that bit. It's a little juicy piece of information to release to people who watch this, but that's gonna be super cool. I cannot wait to hear what he says about Crystal. I'm not sure that I've really seen him publicly talk much about Crystal, so I'm really excited to hear more about his thoughts.
It's also a good incentive to show up early at the conference.
Yes.
It's going to be perfect timing for the UK time zone, to be honest. Central Europe as well. We're going to be having a blast. No, I was just going to mention Kevin in the chat is asking about which topics we're looking for, and I know we're going to touch on that later, but to give Kevin a bit of
we can definitely chat about that now. We've had some that we've seen come across. So there are some that we're looking for. There's some that we've definitely started seeing. One of like my favorite ones that have come across is kind of some talks that are about GUIs and things like that. Just a little bit off the web development pack or web development stack. You know, I'm really deep in that ecosystem, so I always am excited about seeing things that I don't get exposed to on a normal day. Conferences are great for that. They're great for getting a taste of someone else's world and development. And so, you know, I'm kind of excited for that. Lorenzo, do you want to cover?
As for myself, something that I wanted to get more of since Raw Crystal 2020 was a bit more of a data science and scientific track on Crystal. So I've been headhunting for scientists and data scientists to submit talks, and we did get a few very interesting submissions. So to give Kevin a few, ideas of what he could be submitting on, anything scientific, but not necessarily anything maths related. And then of course there's all the train of web talks, web related talks, which are also awesome. And also something that I noticed that I decided not to pursue too much in Raw Crystal, but I think this is the best conference to talk about it, is anyone who has experience coming from Ruby into Crystal and wants to talk about that transition and talk a bit more about Crystal features for beginners as well. I think that's also great material to be submitting.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I know there's been... Oh, go ahead.
No. I was saying yes, absolutely. And something that I would add is that there's also this sort of theme that I really enjoyed figuring out in a way. It wasn't clearly a theme, but all these like quirky talks about things that are fun to do with Crystal. I mean, we've had a few of people presenting on funny things, on little art projects, or just cool stuff that you can do. I think there's a lot of room for that as well. Like the combination of features in Crystal allows you to do fun stuff and performant as well. So there's a universe of things that are super interesting to present on.
Yeah, and of course, industry people who are already using Crystal in production. That's some of the stuff that I'm personally looking forward to hearing people's experience. Along the years, a lot of these people have been a major support system for the growth of the language, because they gave us a ton of feedback and they helped us experiment, kind of safely. And also they've been, in a lot of cases, directly supporting the language financially. So a ton of thanks to them, and we're really looking forward to that.
That's awesome. Maybe it was like 9 months ago, maybe a year ago, there was a handful of issues and PRs that came in about supporting Crystal on the Raspberry Pi. And if you are out there and you are watching this, I really want to know what you did with that Raspberry Pi and Crystal. I really hope it's like, connecting Twitter to, a little horn, or I don't know, maybe Shopify. If you sold something, it squeaks out a little noise or something like that, a little cha-ching or something. I mean, I have an idea of like what I would connect a Pi like with Crystal to do, but I'm really curious if someone's out there and they were the ones behind those PRs, or if you've run Crystal on a Pi, what in the world did you do? That would be a fun talk to have.
Yeah. Well, I mean, running on things like Pi, or even going further and experimenting with embedded software, I think that's one area where I would love to explore a little bit more the potential for the language. I think there's a lot of opportunity there as well.
Yeah, we need a Nerves for Crystal, and for those who have not heard, Nerves is a framework that's in Elixir that is for embedded. So it'd be cool to see what someone's take on that would be in Crystal. Yeah, and not just industry. We have some people definitely that are that are hopefully going to give talks that are coming from an industry perspective. But there has been some research in Crystal, right? Wasn't there? I think there was a talk in Raw Crystal that was more of a research-based talk, right?
Okay. It was research on Crystal with Crystal.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely need to go back and watch some of those talks. It's been a little bit of time and I've forgotten about. I'd love to hear another Svelte talk. That is. I've been chatting with a few people who are deep in the React community, and Svelte is definitely becoming more and more interesting. So, or not. I mean, I guess it's been interesting, but more and more prevalent in people's minds as a solution to some of the problems that they see in other frameworks. Yeah. So that's quite a few talks that I think those are a little bit of things that we are looking for, maybe some things that we kind of have in the pipeline that we're kind of considering. I think the only speaker that we've like locked in so far is Matt's. Do we know what he's going to talk about? I haven't heard yet.
So we have an idea, but we want to give him enough freedom to decide and make his mind on exactly how he's going to frame it. So I think we'll delay a little bit the
Okay.
actual confirmation of the abstract of the talk. But I guess that, I mean, given his background and his trajectory, I think you can guess.
Yep.
What a conversation with him, what a talk from him would be around. Yeah.
Yeah. So stay tuned. Follow the Twitters. You might hear more. You might not. You might have to come and check it out. It's a great event to attend live. I attended Raw Crystal, and we're going to try to really keep a community involvement without committing ourselves to anything. Is there any ideas that we want to share about how people that attend the event live will be able to participate with other people in the community? Maybe Martin, have you heard anything about that?
Yeah. So we're trying a few different tools for being together. I mean, you've probably seen a few of those around, and we'll see if something makes sense as a sort of like a compensation for not being in a shared venue, right? Live on top of the actual streaming and like video conferencing, we might have something like. Otherwise, it's like very likely a Discord, like we did in the past, and everybody's comfortable with. But we'll see.
Awesome. And just in case someone is joining us now or they're skipping to this part of the video, where can someone go to find out more about this conference? And if they have a talk they want to propose, where would be a place that they could find that on the internet?
To find tickets and some information about the conference, they can go to either the Crystal website or the Manas website. crystal-tech and crystal-lang.org. And as far as the call for talks, they can go to Crystal Twitter account, and there's a nifty link up there somewhere.
And when is the conference?
July 8th at 1 p.m. UTC.
Yeah.
We're going to be asking Martin until he gets it wrong.
Yeah. This is just testing that Lorenzo and Jack do to check if I'm a bot or not.
Wait, what? yeah, check if you're a bot. Yeah, what is the conference about? Wrong answers only. No, actually, we talked a little bit about why we're doing this conference. I'm going to jump back into some previous topics that we had, but there has been some releases on the Crystal Link blog and stuff like that. What are the big things? I mean, I know that the core team has changed a little bit. Nico, this might be best for you, but what are some things that have recently happened in Crystal that might be exciting for people to come and maybe see if they haven't been in the ecosystem for a while, they haven't been in the community for maybe a year or so, and they're coming back? Do you want to share some about the changes just to the governance and stuff behind Crystal?
Yeah, so I mean the core team hasn't changed that much. We had an incorporation. We brought someone with a super heavy academic background and a lot of expertise in language design. You probably saw him around in different channels and Twitter and in the forum. His name is Beta Siliani. He has been doing language research for a long time. He's also one of our first colleagues in Manas a long time ago. He left actually to do his PhD in Germany. And now he's back to basically take the lead of the development of the language and the coordination of the efforts. And I think one of the nicest things that you can come to the conference to hear about is what are the plans for the future? What happens now? Okay, 1.0 is out. What's in for 2.0? Where's the direction that we're gonna take for the evolution of the language?
Yeah. Talking about 2.0, one of the coolest things about this conference is Crystal's now 1.0. I've seen a big uptick in people who are more willing to experiment with Crystal because they feel that they can possibly put it in production and things like that. Is there any news? I mean, would you like to talk a little bit about 1.0, maybe some news surrounding it, if there's any changes in the ecosystem? Maybe this would be good for Lorenzo. I'm not sure if he's been messing around with the 1.0 changes. I bet you that you have been following the.
To be honest, I've not paid the price too much. Something I did as soon as Crystal 1.0 came out is I started updating my libraries, all my shards to include the compatibility, the explicit compatibility with the Crystal 1.0 in the shard YAML file, so that whenever people are importing them in, they don't have to specify a flag to ignore any incompatibility errors. And that was the main bit of work. In terms of functionality, I think I only updated a couple of API calls around the HTTP client class, and that was really it. So I think it was a very smooth, because of 0.36.1. I think the path towards Crystal 1.0 was quite smooth for people who didn't had to jump to many releases, I think. So looking at 0.35 and then going from 0.35 to 1.0, I think the API wise, I didn't find many breaking changes, at least not in my projects. Although I know that a lot of work went into that. So it's not to say, although it was a good time to break things, but no things were broken. I know that the internals changed quite a lot. So.
Yeah. As a fun language that I just keep on my computer to enjoy is Mist, written in Crystal. And I tried to reach out to Serverfault to see if he wanted to do a talk, but I think he's unable to, or he's working on other things. But I tried to update Mist to 1.0, and I spent 2 evenings looking into it. and I think it's at 28 or something like that. It needs to go all the way to 1.0. It's a big migration, but that would be a fun one, but it's going to be a lot of work.
I think the pre 0.33, maybe 0.32 are going to be a bit more hard work, I think.
And some of the biggest things is removing JSON mapping and YAML mapping, especially for that language. All the configuration's done that way. And I'm trying to do it without including those shards. So to do it purely based just on the standard lib. And there's just some interesting, behaviors of the changes when you kind of combine multiple mappings in a class and stuff like that. But it's definitely, it'd be fun to have Mist at 1.0. But yeah, for those who have been looking at kind of older projects and rehashing them, I think they're, bringing them back to life and upgrading them. 1.0 is a great target to go for.
Yeah, and you'll know we won't break anything unless you're in 1.0, 1.x. So it's a good investment.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, I think we're kind of getting towards the end of kind of the things that we've been working on and kind of the subjects that we both have seen and are kind of looking for. If you could only listen to like one talk that either, you don't have to say the specific talk or the person, just to not, kind of pre-announce things, but if you could only listen to one that you've seen come through so far, what's the talk that you're most interested in that you've seen reviewed? I guess we'll start with Martin. We'll go.
As I said, I'm very interested in the industry talks. I really like, not being a developer. I like all the ones that are too technical. I'm kind of like, they're rooting for people that I'm not really following as much. But I really like how, to see that transition from, we were having problems, we were, facing scalability issues or stuff like that, and how Crystal solved that. That really makes it worthwhile for me.
Nice. Nico?
Yeah, I guess that's part of the theming, right? As well, that we're hoping to have, right? There's all these like nice stories about performance improvements and like, oh my God, I just rewrote this little piece here and now it runs like 200 times faster. Those are always like nice for us to hear too. My obvious response would be to hear what Mats has to contribute, right? As a grandfather as well. But I guess if I exclude what Martin already responded and the obvious response of like I want to listen to Mats, bioinformatics in particular are talks that I always enjoy hearing from data science in general. Bioinformatics in particular, I think that's another area and domain that's a really good application of Crystal, right? Because of the need for performance, because of the need for expressivity, and being able to write code that is maintainable, that is understandable. I think Crystal like hits a lot of the right notes there.
Nice, awesome. Lorenzo?
I had the time to think about it a bit. Yeah, I was thinking I would love to hear something about comparisons between Crystal and other programming languages on concrete projects. That's something I've tried to do in the past with non-trivial projects. But for example, comparing Crystal and Golang would be something I wish to see, where people talk about their experiences with both languages, where the strengths and weaknesses of both lie, just to kind of give people an indication of when they might want to be picking one over the other. And the same between going back to bioinformatics and science, the same in comparing, for example, Python and Crystal and saying, hey, your go-to scientific language might be Python or Julia, But when might it be a good idea to bring in Crystal to get all the raw power of your CPUs?
Yeah, I think there was a Crystal engine added to Jupyter Notebooks. I'm really curious who's using that and how well it works. I have not dived into that space yet. So if people have, that would be really interesting, to kind of see more about that. I know Jupyter Notebooks is very much kind of connected with those communities and stuff. So yeah, for me, I do love the GUI and just things I haven't seen before. So kind of any talk that in a space that I'm not really connected with. But if I were to say a talk that I'm looking forward to and that I would love to attend, that is not just something abstract, but something or not just something kind of any category, but something specific, it would be performance. I love kind of more nuts and bolts, and seeing someone really get a program to run. Just I don't know, I find it kind of like listening to a well-performing car. There's something kind of very cool about something running very fast and being optimized. There's something very satisfying about that. It feels like a well-crafted machine or something like that. So I'd love to hear what people have done about performance, with performance, either patterns or ways to get programs just to kind of fly. Yeah, so if you have some of the talks that we've mentioned, bioinformatics would be awesome. I'm really curious what the overlap between the Crystal community and bioinformatics would be. I actually don't really know much about that space, so it'd be pretty cool to have that. And
there is some stuff going on in that space already.
Yeah.
We actually published a small blog post. It's been a couple of years now. There's a company in Belgium called Diploid. They've been doing some interesting stuff with genome sequencing. And I found a couple of benchmarks.
Really? Oh, fun. I'm gonna have to go back and find that blog post.
Yeah, they were one of the first adopters to go out and publicly say, hey, we're using this in production. It just saved our lunch. And we know of a few more companies that are using Crystal for small things mostly, but when you need performance and the ability to write code that you can follow and understand, it's a great thing. We'll also be contributing a little bit to that space. So there's going to be a talk that we'll prepare to share a little bit for towards that particular domain and space of interest.
Awesome, very cool. And just not to have Martin always give the plug, I'll definitely give the plug. If people have a talk and they want to submit it, please go to crystal-lang.org and you'll see information both about the conference, how to get tickets, how to submit a talk. And it is July 8th, 2021. So if you have plans for July, cancel them. And
just the 8th.
Just the 8th, okay, just the 8th. And join us for CrystalConf. We are really excited to kind of see some of the talks, and we're also this is a great time to get involved, to start joining these conferences and start seeing what we're doing. 1.0 has been released, and this is kind of a celebration of that. And there has been some really good work in the ecosystem, and we really want to show off some of that if we can find people to come forward and give talks on that. So yeah, just in closing, go to crystal-lang.org, and if people want to find you on the internet, we'll start in the reverse order. Lorenzo, what do you do on the Crystal community, and if people want to follow you, where will they follow you?
People can find me on Twitter under elbarasti. And just follow me there, and then I usually post something, tweet there whenever I do live streaming or whenever I post new content on YouTube. So that's the best way.
Awesome. And I don't know, Nico, I know you work a little bit more in the keeping Crystal kind of the foundations good, but do you have a Twitter or an online presence you'd like to have people follow?
Yeah, I mean, you can follow me personally at NDTada in Twitter, but most of what I tweet about Crystal is going to go out as the as the actual Crystal handle for for Twitter. So you probably already see me write from time to time.
Yeah. Martin, is your Twitter handle Crystal Lang, or do you have your own?
No. I have my own, and I keep it as fresh as 2015, maybe. There's nothing really there to follow. But yeah. Mostly I write from Manastech or Crystal Lang.
I have a question for Martin. Is there a conference for people working in communication for tech companies where all the comms and marketing people come together and talk about all their frustration with the engineers and all of that?
Not that I am aware of, not that I know of, but we could. I mean, we might give that a try. If you want to be my Batman, I'll follow
Absolutely.
you. I'll be the Robin for that.
We could organize that.
Oh man, and is Crystal still looking for a project manager?
We are working for a community manager.
Community manager.
Yeah, we're looking for a community manager. So that's a great point, Jack. Thanks for bringing that up. If you go to Twitter, you might find the link. Otherwise, it's manas.tech/join-us. I think. Let me make sure that I have it.
I think it's just
right.
join.
Just join.
/join.
Join.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So you can go there and find the link to apply. So if you've been managing an open source community and want to try to help us out, grow the community and do for everybody, please submit. The form is super simple. You just need to fill out a few. You take it from there with a nice chat.
Mostly contact information.
Yeah, and just in case someone was confused, is it manus.tech/join?
Yes.
Okay, manus.tech/join for those who are wondering.
Join, yes.
Awesome. And I am WONTREEFREE. Oh no, wait, did I do that wrong? Yeah, I did. TRUE, one true free on the internet. And so, I have a YouTube channel, which is Chicago Crystal, and a podcast. And you'll see me probably around the GitHubs or the Twitters. And we are super happy to be doing CrystalConf this year. And again, if you have any talks or need more info, it is crystal-lang.org, and it should be at the top. And we'll definitely have some more announcements coming, which are all going to be released with the Twitter handle, the @CrystalLang Twitter handle. So for those who are looking to stay in touch, I don't know if we'll do another one of these casts. We might, but as time gets a little closer. But this is just a little bit of a behind-the-scenes look, without giving too much away of what we're working on and what we hope to be kind of bringing to you guys soon. So this is the sign-off.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you. Thanks a lot for putting this together.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.